It's been a while since I last uploaded, but with good reason. Somehow, in that amount of time, I have found out that I'm pregnant. We decided we were moving to another state, and most surprisingly of all, I've been on a very specific diet. There's a good reason for that last one, but I'll explain it a little bit later. When I stepped away in mid-March, it was only supposed to be a couple of weeks to reframe, give myself a little spring break, if you will, and then I was going to be right back at it. I can't wait to talk all about my pregnancy, how everything's been going, and tell you all about our move. I've really missed creating and sharing, but I just needed to take the break. I did record quite a few times during that break, and I can't wait to share everything that's been going on. But realistically, I'm very excited to return, but I'm not going to pretend that everything has been perfectly organized in the meantime. It has been a crazy time. Let's start from the very beginning. At the beginning of April, we headed to Arkansas to look for possible houses and happened to come across the perfect one. Due to an unforeseen family circumstance, we had to quickly hurry back to our home in Kansas. We left after putting a very quick offer on the house, got back to Kansas, spent a little bit of time with some family here, went home that evening, and I was just not feeling quite like myself, so we took a pregnancy test and it happened to be positive, and we were absolutely thrilled. However, a tiny bit shocked. We just didn't quite expect for it to happen this quickly. Let's talk all about my pregnancy. I've been so excited to share this because to me it is just such a blessing to be pregnant, and I really find a lot of joy in this time. My first pregnancy was really hard on me and my body. I found myself to be incredibly tired and dealt with obviously a lot of nausea. And with my second and now third pregnancy, I have not felt the same way. And I am not sure yet if that has anything to do with the gender. We will be finding out pretty soon. We are waiting until the ultrasound. In the past, we have found out via blood test, and with my son, we found out with an NIPT test, which is a really accurate blood test that also tests for some genetic components as well. And with our daughter, we tested with a sneak peek at home, and those tests are fairly accurate, but they do have about a 1 in 560 something percent chance of being incorrect, and we happen to be that little percentage. So after finding out we were having a boy in early pregnancy, we found out at the ultrasound at 20 weeks that we were actually having a girl, which of course was such a lovely surprise, but it was a bit shocking due to the fact that we had kind of, excitedly planned for this brother dynamic and just getting to reap the benefits of having two boys in a row by not having to really buy much of anything, including like a crib or any clothes or anything like that. Of course, had we gotten to the birth and had found out we were having a girl, we would have still been very ecstatic and everything would have been totally fine. We would have handled it then, but it was nice to find out the correct gender. So, that being said, this time we've just decided to wait and see what we're having at the ultrasound at 20 weeks. So, fairly soon we'll have that answer. Given that I'm talking about the ultrasound being fairly soon, you may have put together that I'm already in my second trimester. I am about 15 weeks pregnant as I'm filming this, and I'm due in mid-December. I'm very excited. I do find due dates to be a little bit hard to really nail down, and they really mean so little, so I'm trying not to focus too much on that actual date. However, I really am hoping that I will get to have a little baby in my arms by Christmas. As for symptoms, in my early pregnancy, I dealt with a little bit of nausea and some tiredness, and honestly, that tiredness has continued way into my second trimester in a way that it never did with my other two. I can imagine that has something to do with the fact that now I'm chasing two other humans around all day, and that just adds a level of tiredness that is unavoidable. But I do find myself kind of coming out of that fog and being able to handle days more readily without needing to rest midday. That tiredness has really knocked us out of our normal routine, but we are slowly getting back into it. Speaking of, I got this grain mill and I'm so excited about it. I obviously was cleaning it. This is a video of me cleaning it for that very first time, and I really didn't know what I was doing or think this through, and you'll see that I just total pregnancy brain move, just didn't put anything underneath it.
Smart.
So I guess I should probably add brain fog to my list of symptoms. I take quite a stack of vitamins during pregnancy. It seems a little ridiculous, but I really want to nourish my body in a way that is really helpful. And although I try to get a lot of that stuff in my diet, I do find that taking a lot of supplements gives me some peace, and it makes sure that I'm really covering a lot of those little things that I may not get enough of in my diet. While we are happily enjoying our last little bit at our home here in Kansas, I want to talk about our reasons for deciding to move. Moments like this outside with my two kids, just enjoying the beautiful weather and every moment with them, really make me hesitant to take us out of this little life we're living. However, we have really good reasons behind it. We moved to Kansas City right out of college to be near my husband's family and have really enjoyed our time with them. But as we continued to move deeper into the suburbs, we moved unintentionally further and further away from his family. So now we're like 45 minutes and an hour and a half from our closest family members. And although they are so helpful when they can be, that means that they can't always be there and be our direct village. So for the last couple of years, we've thrown around the idea of possibly moving to Arkansas to be even closer to my family, and finally pulled the trigger and are moving in mid-August. The house we found is only about 5 minutes by car from any of my siblings and my parents. It's only a 1-mile walk via the back trails, which is so fun, and puts my son and daughter right with all of their cousins. While we are thrilled to be closer to my family, we are really sad about leaving this area. Over the last few years, we've really worked to create a community, and I often talk about creating a village around you, and that's exactly what I've been working to do here. So, although it will be amazing to be near family, it also comes with a really bittersweet part where I'm leaving behind a lot of that community that I've worked really hard to create. I really can't wait to take you along as we pack up for this move and as we get to decorate and make a new home out of the home we've bought in Arkansas. My mom is a wonderful decorator, and I cannot wait to follow in her footsteps as I decorate my own home and get to have a lot of her help along the way. She's already helping us to make those decisions from afar. It's also incredibly important to me to create a village where we go, so I can foresee a lot of videos related to me trying to create that community around us. I've already come up with a list of ideas on how to get started because I really don't want to wait around waiting for people to reach out to us in order to try and make friends and get to know our neighbors. I do have some of this recorded and am hoping that it'll be okay if I kind of backtrack and show a little bit of the action that's been going on while I'm away. But we had a lot going on, as I've said, in the last few months. First, I hosted my daughter's birthday, followed by my son's birthday, followed by my little sister's baby shower. I traveled by myself with my 2 kids, which was crazy and so fun. We managed to keep our household functional while I was in the just absolute throes of fatigue during my first trimester. However, I will say that it definitely was far from perfect. And we've done a lot to try and get our house sorted and decluttered and organized and prepared for a move. And I have a lot to do along the way. I still feel like there's just so much to do before we're completely ready. Fortunately, or maybe unfortunately, our house here has not sold yet, so we are able to kind of move a little bit more slowly. I don't feel like we're in a huge rush to get things ready and out of here. However, we have chosen a move date now, so there is a fast approaching deadline. This time without a lot of filming and content has actually been really nice for a lot of reasons. One of which being that I got to live my life fully present in it. Although I don't feel like filming really changes much about our day-to-day, I feel like we do things pretty similarly. It does mean that I don't get to live completely in every moment, and I so enjoy documenting my life, and there are so many clips that I get to have of my children that I wouldn't have had I not already had my camera out, but I did enjoy this time away and really just living my life fully in it. One of those very fun moments to get to be fully in was watching my daughter learn to walk, and it's been so fun to watch her toddle around everywhere. She is so cute. I've spent a bit of time during this break thinking about what I want this channel to look like going forward. After showing moving and just some pregnancy content, there are so many other things that I am just so thrilled to be able to share about. Homemaking, motherhood, meals, hosting, routines, and all of the ordinary things that make up our days. I also love to talk about functional medicine and would be interested if anybody would want me to talk more on that. I am actually a chiropractor by trade. I went through the 3.5 years of follow-up schooling after my degree to go ahead and finish that out, and quickly came home quite literally right after graduating. So with that functional medicine side of things, I've really loved being a part of and learning all about birth and postpartum, and really trying to hone in on being a great resource for those things. So let me know if you want more of that content, but over the next several months, you'll probably see a mixture of the moving content, pregnancy updates, homemaking in our new space, realistic routines with children, our meal prep, hosting, and probably some creating a village content as well. Along the way, I'm sure there will be plenty that does not go according to my plan, because that's the way life is, and that's kind of how it's supposed to be, right? I think that's probably what I'm most excited about when I'm starting to film again. Although this is such a significant season for our family and I want to document it, I don't want to just do big announcements and milestones, but also very normal days in between, which is why this video is mostly just tidying up and interacting with my children. I'm excited to share what it looks like to pack up a house while you're pregnant, to help my little children adjust to a move, and to establish new routines. However, I would happily take any suggestions for any of those things if you have some to share in the comments. As we get closer to December, I am positive you will see lots of content as I prepare our new home for another baby. Okay, I know I promised I would talk about this diet I'm on, so I'm finally going to get to it. As you saw throughout the video, we've been eating a lot of eggs. That's not really part of the diet, but it is kind of adjacent to the diet. I have been on a strict diet with no gluten, no dairy that is not cultured, and no sugar. Really, I'm not even supposed to do like carby foods like potatoes. I can do sweet potatoes, and I'm really trying to stay away from fruit as well. However, I do occasionally partake in a little bit of fruit because I find that my body finds it really hard to get enough carbs otherwise. Although this is a true diet, I would say that it's actually more of a temporary health protocol that I'm following because something came up in my early prenatal testing. Really early on in my pregnancy, a urine culture showed group B strep, which is commonly referred to as GBS. I would say that this isn't the biggest health concern in pregnancy, although it does typically require antibiotics at birth if it's not gone. I do have some serious opinions on whether or not it really should always require antibiotics, and even in other countries, the guidelines are very different with very similar outcomes. But I do want to minimize my risk, and I want to try and get rid of this GBS before we're further into pregnancy, because GBS would require that I either take an antibiotic or risk being risked out of home birth. Ironically, antibiotics are likely what caused my levels to be so high because I had mastitis with my daughter right when she was born, so I ended up needing to take an antibiotic after a 104 fever for several days, even with Tylenol and ibuprofen. I was a rare case of mastitis that the midwives said that their normal protocol didn't work for. They have about 1 or 2 people they send for antibiotics a year, and I was one of the lucky ones. That being said, the goal of this is not weight loss. It is to make sure that I'm being very intentional about which foods I am cutting out in order to try and help that GBS to kind of die within my system, and make sure that I'm giving my body all the support it needs as I take natural antibiotics and several probiotics as well. I'm being sure to get enough caloric intake and lots of protein, but honestly, I've felt a lot better on this diet, so I might be doing a modified version for a while. I did stick some cookies in the oven for some friends that were visiting though, and I really didn't even feel tempted, which was a huge win. I'm genuinely so excited to be filming again, so let me know in the comments what part you'd be excited to see next: the move, that new house, pregnancy content, meals, routines, or something else entirely. I'm so glad you're here. I'll see you next week.